St. John County Sheriff's Office wrote in a Facebook post that that bird kicked several times using its large talons and fled on foot recklessly, is how they describe this. So after a short chase there, the emu ended up in handcuffs around its legs. The emu was not jailed, but instead safely returned to its owners. That's an adventure.
Good Day Chicago at 8 starts now.
And right now at 8 o'clock, another shooting involving ICE agents in Minneapolis. The second one in a week. We've got reaction from Minnesota.
A new survey highlights just how dangerous e-scooters are for children. A doctor's going to join us with the one thing that parents should do to protect their kids.
Plus, snow slams northwest Indiana. Look at that. We are live this morning to show you where it is coming down.
And let's take you live outside the studio here. We got our dose of snow yesterday. Now temperatures are tumbling.
All right, we're going to say good morning to Caitlin Cody. Joining us on a morning where, we got some winter stuff to deal with here in January. Feels like mid-January in some places.
Yeah, more snow on the way today. We have light flurries for most of us. Behind me, that's what you're seeing for the bulk of this blue, with the exception, as we just mentioned, of northwest Indiana, which, by the way, I drove in from northwest Indiana this morning, and I have to say, the roads are not that great. So side roads, your neighborhood, it's probably going to be icy this morning, so heads up. Taking a look at the radar, though, where we do have that lake effect band coming down. This is going to be mostly in Porter County at this point, although continued lake effect snow is possible even in LaPorte and Berrien County today. Temperatures outside right now, they're chilly. It's 10 degrees. This is the actual temperature. 10 in Aurora as well as DeKalb, 14 at the lakefront, 18 in Gary, 17 from Chicago Heights to 13 at O'Hare. So it's a chilly start, and really today is going to be very cold with winds gusting to about 20 to 25 miles per hour with temperatures in the 20s. Yikes. We'll take a look at our next round of snow and that cold weekend forecast ahead. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate it. Chicagoland, got slammed with snow on Wednesday, and now it is northwest Indiana's turn.
Roseanne Tellez has been braving the elements for us this morning. Where are you, Roseanne, and what are you seeing?
Well, we stayed put in Chesterton because the snow just kept getting more ferocious, and now it's like a snow globe that you really shook up quite a lot because it's really coming down, big flakes, it's sticking to the ground. Definitely a showtime here in Chesterton in Porter County this morning with that lake effect snow. We did want to show you that this actually started in the overnight hours in Porter County in Portage, where the snow was blowing like crazy in the early hours overnight. And also yesterday, of course, they had that big band of snow that ended up leading to a 30-car pileup on the Indiana Toll Road in Elkhart County. It was closed because of this huge accident that involved 10 semis plus all of those cars. State police say there was a crash that led to another, and before you know it, you had the entire eastbound portion shut down there. It was the heavy snow, the strong winds, and the slick roads. So as I mentioned, we have been driving through Indiana. We went all the way heading toward Berrien. We were a little farther west earlier, we were farther east in LaPorte. And we didn't really see anything this morning. The drive was fine, but we came back here to Porter County and they are getting hit. Beware on the roads, although we didn't see any problems. Right now is a whole different story. The snow is coming down, the winds are blowing, and it's really cold. So I've got to imagine that a lot of this precipitation hitting the ground is going to freeze. So you'll want to be super careful when you drive through this area. Back to you now in the studio.
Good reminders, Roseanne. Thank you. All right, developing this morning, President Donald Trump is threatening to use the Insurrection Act to end protests in Minneapolis. This comes after another shooting involving ICE agents. According to the Department of Homeland Security, federal officers were trying to arrest a Venezuelan man who's in the country illegally when several people, they say, came out of a nearby apartment and attacked the officer with a shovel and broom handle. That's when the officer shot a person in the leg. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey condemned ICE while urging peaceful protests.
For anyone that is taking the bait tonight, stop. That is not helpful. Go home. We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos.
DHS says the officer acted in self-defense. Both he and the person he shot were hospitalized. And a Chicago law firm is going to be representing the family of Renee Good, the woman who was shot and killed by ICE in Minneapolis a week ago. Antonio Romanucci, his firm Romanucci and Blandon has launched a civil investigation into Good's death. The firm also helped win a record settlement in the George Floyd case.
The Trump administration is making another push to send the National Guard to Chicago. This despite a Supreme Court ruling. A report from the Chicago Tribune says the Department of Justice is open to reaching a settlement with the state that would allow troops in the city. Illinois sued to block the Guard's deployment after the Trump administration launched Operation Midway Blitz. The Supreme Court denied Trump's request to deploy troops while that case plays out. And now we want to turn to developments in Iran, where President Trump may be backing away now from possible military intervention.
Brian Jackson joins us here in studio with the very latest. Brian?
Well, on Tuesday, the president promised help for protesters in Iran. Thousands have been detained since those anti-government protests began 2 weeks ago. Iran had even threatened executions. Now, President Trump says that the regime is changing course.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions.
Those demonstrations have killed at least 2,600 people. The UN Security Council has scheduled an emergency meeting on Iran for later this afternoon. Senate Republicans rejected a measure that would have blocked President Trump from using military force in Venezuela without congressional approval. Vice President J.D. Vance cast the tie-breaking vote. It comes a day after President Trump met with Venezuela's acting president to discuss oil and trade. And U.S. talks with Denmark and Greenland went about as well as you might imagine. A top Danish official is pushing back on President Trump's demands to acquire Greenland, stating that the two fundamentally disagree about the territory's future. The two sides, though, did, however, come up with a working group to address American security concerns. President Trump says that the U.S. needs to take over Greenland before China or Russia does. He's now asking for NATO to step in. Natalie?
Brian, the Matson Elementary School District Board has voted to remove Carl Scott Sr. from his role as vice president. Calls for his resignation grew after a video showed him hitting a man during a 2024 interrogation while he was police chief in Robbins. That same incident led to him resigning from the department and a misdemeanor battery conviction. Some parents, though, believe he should be allowed to keep his position.
Why are we holding his past over his head? I'm positive that he has done a lot of good things outside of the one bad thing that is being viewed.
Scott will be allowed to stay on the school board.
All right, after a more than 6-year run, Timeout Market has run out of time. This is sad here. The Fulton Market Food Hall is closing its doors next week, we learned. Timeout Market CEO Michael Marley says this decision comes down to inconsistent foot traffic and also higher operating costs. Sam Toya, president and CEO of the Illinois Restaurant Association, says restaurants are still feeling the effects of hybrid and work-from-home schedules.
So when they opened these food halls, again, as I mentioned earlier, we had over 600,000 people coming down to the Central Business District. A lot of them were going out to lunch. Inflation wasn't as high. That was their model. Then inflation went up so big, and we only have 60% of the people working downtown because of these hybrid work schedules, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah, it's a tough environment for all of these restaurateurs. Official last day for Timeout Market is going to be next Friday. All right, switching gears to sports. Bears defense has the tall task of trying to slow down Matthew Stafford on Sunday. Stafford with this kind of MVP caliber season going for the Rams.
Stafford has thrown nearly 50 touchdowns this season and has two of the league's top wide receivers to receive those touchdowns. Yeah. The Bears have high praise for the 38-year-old veteran.
An experienced player that sees the field really well. He understands defenses. He knows how to manipulate defenses. He's got a great feel for the game.
We're at the top of the game right now, and at his age and things like that. And so that's something you can learn from. And then also just the, how he plays the game. You drop back and he has what everybody calls snake eyes.
Playing probably the best football, probably of his career. He'll probably say that.
I think he's just very confident within the scheme.
Fox Chicago is your destination for coverage of the Rams and Bears on Sunday. Bears Game Day Live starts at a special time, 12:30. And then once the game ends, we'll have post-game reaction with Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and we'll go inside the locker room.
Hopefully they'll be celebrating in that locker room after a cold weather, like vintage Bears Soldier Field environment on Sunday, Caitlin. We want it to be nice and cold there so that the Rams are as uncomfortable as possible.
Sorry to the people who are actually going to the game. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's very exciting. The adrenaline will keep you warm. Right now, we do have some light snow out there. For the most part, it's flurry activity in Chicagoland, with the exception of some lake effect snow. We have Roseanne out there in Chesterton and Porter County, and that's where we are seeing that lake effect snow continue this morning. But for the rest of us, you might see a flurry here or there. And as far as Porter County goes, you may have an additional inch or so, depending on where this snow does fall. You can see from Burns Harbor to Michigan City with that lake effect still ongoing. Temperatures around the area, very cold. So that's our second headline, I would say, is the temperature, because it's only 15 degrees at the lakefront right now, but 13 at O'Hare and 10 in Aurora to DeKalb, 19 in Valpo, 18 in Gary. Very chilly temperatures. Now, talking about our winter storm alerts, we still have that winter weather advisory in place for Porter County, as mentioned, perhaps up to an inch of additional lake effect snow expected there. Michigan City, though, all the way up to Benton Harbor, that pink color, that's still our winter storm warning in effect. Now, talking about our futurecast and how chilly it will be today, temperatures are only going to be in the 20s. Lunchtime, 24 degrees. That snow finally departing by later on this afternoon. 26 at 3:45, and then the snow is back. Tonight, we have the chance for scattered light snow. For the most part, we could see around 1, 2, maybe 2 inches of snowfall, continuing even into your Friday morning commute. We'll take a look at that weekend forecast, that all-important Bears outlook. It's coming up.
All right, thank you, Caitlin. President Trump makes a big change to school lunch programs for the first time in years. We'll tell you what is returning to cafeterias.
Yeah, we're going to have more weather coverage coming up next. But first, as we go to break, here's a quick overview of your 7-day forecast. We'll be right back.
What are you girls doing?
We're doing all the heating, plumbing, and electric around here.
All right, I know you girls know stuff, but let's leave it to our trusted local experts. Let's call Four Seasons.
It's about time you figured it out.
Whether it's heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, air duct cleaning, or generators, you can always trust Four Seasons.
For all the right reasons, call it 664 Seasons.
All right, new this morning, another construction crane has collapsed in Thailand. This is the second in 2 days. This crane fell onto a road near Bangkok, killing 2 people. Comes a day after another crane fell onto a passenger train and killed 32. The government is now moving to pause all above-ground projects while they investigate just what is going on here. It is still not clear what caused either of the collapses. Meantime, the NTSB is revealing more updates on a part that broke off of that UPS plane that crashed in Kentucky. We have just learned that it failed 4 times on other planes. Boeing warned plane owners in 2011 about a broken part that contributed to the crash last November. The part helps secure the engines to the wings. Photos from the crash show that the rear of the engine started to detach. 3 pilots were killed. 12 others on the ground were killed.
The U.S. State Department is suspending immigrant visa processing for 75 countries. The list includes Somalia, Russia, Iran, Brazil, and Thailand. The freeze applies to visas for employment and for people trying to join family in the United States. It does not apply to student and tourist visas. The change starts January 21st. And new this morning, xAI is limiting its chatbot's ability to create sexualized deepfake images on the platform X. Elon Musk's AI software Grok has come under fire for allowing users to take real photos of people, including children, and edit them into revealing clothing. Now, Grok is already the subject of multiple investigations in Malaysia, Indonesia, the UK, and in the EU. And even California launched its own investigation on Wednesday.
The U.S. Supreme Court is reviving a lawsuit over Illinois' mail-in voting law. In 2022, downstate Republican Rep Mike Boss challenged Illinois law. He argued that the rule cost his campaign financially. The policy allows counting up to 2 weeks after Election Day, as long as the votes, those ballots, are postmarked by Election Day and not after.
And the problem with that is now there's so many ballots arriving after Election Day that is really starting to undermine the confidence in the election, because when you go to bed at night, there's 150,000 votes, and you wake up in the morning and suddenly there's 250,000 votes.
More than a dozen states have similar mail-in ballot policies.
For the first time in years, school lunch could include whole milk. President Donald Trump signed a bill Wednesday requiring schools in the National School Lunch Program to serve whole and 2% milk. Comes a week after the Department of Health and Human Services put out new dietary guidelines. The bill rolls back rules approved by the Obama administration that required fat-free or low-fat milk in an effort to fight childhood obesity.
All right, time now, 8:17 on your Thursday morning. Here's a look at some of the other top stories we are following for you.
President Donald Trump threatening to use the Insurrection Act to end protests in Minneapolis. Comes after another shooting involving ICE agents there. According to the Department of Homeland Security, in this case, federal officers were trying to arrest a Venezuelan man who was in the country illegally when several people came out of a nearby apartment and attacked the officer with a shovel and a broom handle. And the person, the alleged suspect in this case, was detained. He got loose. He allegedly also started attacking the officer, and that's when the officer shot that individual in the leg.
All right, the Trump administration making another push to send the National Guard to Chicago despite a Supreme Court ruling. A report from the Chicago Tribune says the Department of Justice is open to reaching a settlement with the state that would allow troops in the city.
President Trump now asking NATO to help the U.S. acquire Greenland. President Trump says the U.S. needs to take over Greenland before China or Russia does. The push comes a day after the foreign ministers of Greenland and Denmark sat down with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
All right, 8:18. There is where it's all happening on Sunday. And Caitlin, it's going to be cold for these incoming Southern California players, which should play in our favor.
I hope so, yes. And we have a small chance for some snow around, too. No big snowmaker this weekend, but it is definitely going to be winter-like here in Chicago for the Bears. This morning, speaking of winter-like, very cold outside. Temperatures are around 10 to 15 degrees throughout Chicagoland. So that's where we're going to start. 15 degrees at the lakefront, 18 in Gary, which, by the way, speaking of Northwest Indiana, Porter County, that's where we're still seeing a little bit of lake effect snow currently. 10 in DeKalb and Aurora, 13 in Morris, 15 in Kankakee. These temperatures are going to stay cold today, but we are going to have a lovely looking afternoon. More sunshine is in the forecast with a high of about 27 degrees. Now we are going to have that north-northwest wind up to about 25 miles per hour. Looking at our futurecast, though, more snow is on the way. So if you missed the snow, yesterday was lovely looking. If you didn't have to go anywhere, we have more coming tonight into tomorrow. Now, it's not going to be heavy snowfall. We expect around 1 to 2 inches possible for most, and it's going to be out of here fast, but definitely going to have that potential for impacts tomorrow morning. Temperatures are going to be staying cold this weekend, in fact, dropping as we head into Saturday and Sunday. And I mentioned that chance for some snow around this weekend. We could see some light snow both on Saturday and Sunday. So here's our futurecast snowfall. I mentioned now tonight into early tomorrow, most of us are going to receive light snow accumulation potential, but our maps are showing 2 to 4 inches, and I'm not ruling this out. So we are going to have that quick hitting snow, and it is going to be very cold. Watch out for slick road conditions. 7-day forecast, taking a look at our high tomorrow. We're going to be warming up to the mid and upper 30s, but then we're back down to the 20s for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday hovering at about 20 degrees. And then we head into next week with even colder temperatures starting off at 10 on Monday. Anthony.
Oh, man. We will bundle up for sure. Caitlin, thank you for the heads up there. Here's what's coming up later this morning on Chicago Now. We're going to go back in time to see Chicago's Aragon Ballroom in its prime. Now, that is still a gorgeous venue. Can't even imagine what it looked like when it was still fresh. Yeah, we're going to look through vintage menus, event flyers, and its transition into a modern-day concert venue. Plus, we are talking with Clark Street Sports about the huge demand for Bears merch ahead of their game against the Rams. Bears fun doesn't stop there. Superfan Dave Swirsky is going to be on the show to get us pumped up for Sunday's playoff game. All that and much more starting at 10 a.m. on Chicago Now.
Welcome back. A new survey finds a lot of kids are not wearing helmets on e-scooters despite a consistent rise in injuries. And it's even worse when it comes to e-bikes. So Dr. Marie Heffernan is director of the Voices of Child Health and Communities at Lurie Children's, and she's here to break down the findings. I think for a lot of parents, Marie, this is surprising because those e-scooters and e-bikes can go so fast. Right? And so who took this survey and what were the most startling findings?
Yes. So we surveyed parents from all across the state of Illinois, over 1,000 parents from rural regions, urban regions, and suburban regions of the state. And one of the really surprising findings was that e-scooters were the type of recreational vehicle that youth were using the most. but they were also the vehicle that had the lowest rates of helmet use. So that's really concerning from a safety perspective.
Okay, so that's like the one point you want to drive home for parents is make sure that the kids wear helmets. Is there any other safety protocols that parents can take?
Yes, so some kinds of safety rules, for instance, like what the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends, is not allowing adolescents and children to use e-scooters until they turn 16. Some other tips include not letting kids ride scooters with more than one person on a scooter, which is something that I see in my neighborhood really regularly, where I'll see 2 teens on one scooter or even parents riding on a scooter with their young kids. And that can be really dangerous because these devices aren't made to have more than one person on them.
And then what about the speed? Can you regulate that at all?
Well, so the speed is another really, really concerning thing because these e-scooters can go 15 to 25 miles per hour, most of them. Some models can go 30 to 35 miles per hour. And so that's really fast. It's like 3 times as fast as a regular children's bicycle can go.
Wow. And I mean, okay, so my husband and I rented these one time years ago when we went to Nashville, and I thought I was going to die because you have to keep them on the roads generally. And, you talk about kids, they don't know the rules of the road, making sure they stop at certain points. Not to mention the potholes here in Chicago. What kind of injuries are you seeing?
Yes, so we are seeing increased injuries related to e-scooters here in Chicago, and it's happening across the nation. And my colleagues in the emergency department are seeing things like head injuries, so concussions, traumatic brain injuries. They're also seeing facial injuries, so injuries to the jaw and to the nose, and that can happen when a child goes over the handlebars. And they're seeing fractures and severe road rash because when you're traveling at these really high speeds, if a child falls off and they rub against the asphalt, that can cause really severe road rash.
And when you talk about a traumatic brain injury, I mean, in some cases, that's not something that can be, you can't fully come back from that. In a lot of cases, I would think.
Yes, and so I think that speaks to the severity of the dangers that can result from riding an e-scooter for kids and just how cautious parents need to be.
Is there anything else that we missed that you want to mention?
I think it's understandable if parents haven't had this on their mind because e-scooters are relatively new. They've really skyrocketed in popularity recently. And so there's no time like the present to set some safety rules that feel right for your family.
All right. Thank you, Marie, so much. All good information.
Thank you so
much. Watch out for those kiddos. 4 astronauts, meantime, on board the International Space Station are back home earlier than expected. A little later on, I'm super excited about this. We are live in San Diego after splashdown to explain what happened. Caitlin?
8:27. It's very cold outside, but today it is going to be a beautiful day. We've got sunny skies. The chance for some lake effect snow in Porter County, though, right now. We'll take a look at your full forecast, including your 7-day outlook with that all-important Bears forecast. First, though, checking in with Jake to see what he's getting into this morning.
Caitlin, Cody, speaking of the Bears, if you're looking to refresh your Bears gear to get ready for this weekend, we're live at Soldier Field at the Bears Pro Shop with all the latest gear you're going to need to get ready to beat LA this weekend. We'll tell you more coming up right here on Good Day Chicago.
All right, welcome back. 8:30 Thursday morning. The Bears are days away from facing their biggest test yet when they take on the Rams in the divisional playoff round.
And the Pro Shop wants to make sure that fans are decked out.
Yes.
You know, I love fashion, Anthony, and when fashion and sports combine,
oh, it's your sweet spot.
With Jake Hamilton, you can't beat it. So Jake is live at Soldier Field showing us the new gear.
That's right, guys. It goes without saying that Bears fans are the best fans in the NFL, but I think something they don't get enough credit for is that they're the best looking fans in the NFL. They're the most stylish fans in the NFL, and a big reason why the Bears Pro Shop, if you're looking to maybe refresh some of your gear to get ready for the big game this Sunday, Sarah Smith, VP of Fan Development and Marketing, is out here to help us. Sarah, how are you feeling? Couple days away, we're feeling good?
We're feeling great. We got to get our fans all the merch ahead of the game,
well,
so here we are.
You're going to help us look good, and I'd imagine those three words printed on anything flying off the shelf right now.
Absolutely. Our Good, Better, Best collection was designed in-house by our brand creative team, and we really wanted to lean into this mantra that's picked up so much steam over the course of this season. So we have men's styles, women's styles, unisex, kids, you name it.
And those three words, it's really all you need on any kind of a t-shirt or a sweater or what have you. But, you know, a lot of people really want something that has a stamp on this moment. And I'd imagine anything with the division champs, anything with a 2025 playoffs, I mean, that's got to be the red ticket item right now.
Absolutely. This has been such an epic season for us, very memorable. So these hats and this t-shirt have been flying off the shelves.
Now, there is a logo that I've been seeing around this Pro Shop, and I was surprised it's actually on my arm on this jacket right now. And I asked you, I said, wait, this is cool. What is this logo? And tell me, my mind was blown when you reminded me of the big anniversary.
Yes, if you can believe it, this season was the 40th anniversary of our Super Bowl win, so we designed our very own logo to put on some merch.
This has got to be taking people back. I mean, this has got to be just something that means something. And the fact that we're able to have that anniversary with the Bears run that we're having right now is just kind of unreal.
It's truly been a memorable season, and what we're trying to do through our merchandise is allow our fans to really express their own personal style. So some folks gravitate towards that, but some gravitate towards more modern looks.
Yeah, case in point, you know, I mentioned Bears fans being the most fashionable in the NFL. You guys, like, I walked in and thought, I gotta get some of these jackets. Like, I'm a big fan of a cool jacket, and these are pretty incredible.
They're pretty epic, and the great thing about this is even if you aren't coming to the game, you can still show your fandom. If you're going to a bar, if you're going to the grocery store, it's all about showing off your Bears pride.
And, you know, one thing, you know, we really want to make sure people know is that all the gear and everything you guys have out here, it's not just for the male fans. There are plenty of female Bears fans out there, and you guys have enough merch to make sure that they're ready to go for this weekend as well.
Absolutely. We love our female fans and want to make sure that there's offerings that appeal to everybody. So you can see here we do a lot of tone-on-tone, more neutral options. So if you want to support the Bears, but you don't necessarily need a huge logo, there's a lot of great options.
Now, I mentioned to you that that I'm in the middle of moving right now, so all my Bears gear is unfortunately packed up in boxes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a little shopping, if you don't mind.
Yes.
I've got, let's see, this looks about my size. Where can people come out here to the Pro Shop and make sure that they get everything that they need gearing up for this weekend?
Yeah, so we have 3 locations here at Soldier Field. The one we're in right here by Gate 45 is open 7 days a week, so you don't even have to enter the stadium to come in and get some swag.
Well, we've got some future Fox babies on the way at Fox 32, so I might need to do a little bit of preemptive present shopping, if you don't mind. So my credit card's about to be slid over on the counter. We are live out here at Soldier Field, the Bears Pro Shop. Let's see, I got my size, and Anthony, I got you too, baby.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Jake, when you showed the baby onesie, I awkwardly looked at Natalie's belly out here on set. I think that'd be perfect.
I actually like the chain that he's wearing.
The chain.
I know that's off the beaten path, but
can you really quick? Can you tell us about the chains?
Sure. So the fan chain is one of our top-selling items this season. Kids wear it, adults wear it. It's just a way to have a little bit of fun and rock the brand.
All right, guys. So just Venmo me, and I'll bring a couple back.
All right. Thank you, Jake.
You
Great
can
job
also
out
stack
there.
them and wear 3 at a time.
Exactly. You got to stack them like Mr. T used to back in the day. Caitlin.
Did we like the blue or the gold chain? I couldn't decide.
I said I'm good either way.
They're both super
good
cool.
either way.
Very cool.
And cold weather for the game.
Cold weather for the game, yes. But still, you can wear that necklace on top of your snowsuit. Temperatures this weekend, they're going to be hovering around 20 as our high Saturday and Sunday. But let's talk about today because we have had some wacky weather. Yesterday, we had the heavy snowfall. Today, we still have some lake effect coming down, especially in Porter County. But with that being said, you might see a flurry or two this morning. We are going to have more sunshine in the forecast, though, today. Temperatures. Quite a hit. 14 degrees colder right now compared to yesterday at this time at O'Hare. 16-degree drop in Joliet and Aurora as well as in Gary. And it was cold yesterday morning. Well, take a look. Right now we're sitting at 15 degrees at the lakefront, 13 at O'Hare, 10 in Aurora. Here's your next 48 hours. Temperatures are going to be peaking in the 20s, right around 25 or 26 degrees this afternoon. Again, we are going to have more sunshine in the forecast for a short period of time before the chance for snow is back. Heading into tonight, we're going to have scattered light snow expected. Most of us around 1 to 2 inches possible into early tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, you may be impacted by the snowfall for your morning commute. Temperatures tomorrow are going to be better. We're pushing into the upper 30s. But then we drop again. And as mentioned, we are going to have cold temperatures this weekend, along with the chance for some scattered light snow showers around. Here's your futurecast. Let's take you through today. First of all, that lake effect snow in Porter County slowly shifting east. LaPorte and Berrien County holding on to that potential for snowfall a little bit longer. Then we get into this evening, and that snow starts to creep back in. Scattered snow expected tonight into early tomorrow before we do dry out after a quick couple of inches possible. Back to you.
All right, Caitlin, thank you for the heads up there. Well, the last time the Bears and Rams faced one another in the playoffs was way back in the 80s. 9 o'clock, we're going to talk with two Bears legends who actually played in that game for a little stroll down sports memory lane. Stay with us.
Christian.
Welcome back, our friends in Northwest Indiana. Good morning to all of you. Yeah, look out the window. You are getting a dose of wintry weather this morning.
Roseanne Tellez shows us the snow in Chesterton. She's all bundled up. Good morning, Roseanne.
Yes, because there's a feels like temperature of about 4 degrees right now here with this brutal wind. The wind hasn't been so bad, but just the cold is so brutal that you add a little gust of wind and that's enough. The snow is tapering off just a bit, like Caitlin said. I guess it's moving to the east, but it is still coming down. In fact, if you look at the roadways here, you'll see that, there was some snow that accumulated on the road. It is a little slushy. But with this cold temperature, I'd be really nervous about driving on it because of the ice. But I tell you, the people we've been talking to this morning, they're a hardy bunch. They live on the south rim of Lake Michigan. They're used to it. So we talked to Kevin Doler, who told us his advice for somebody who maybe is less schooled on these conditions.
It's pretty crazy, but if you know how to drive, you're okay. The people that don't know how to drive, and I recommend anybody that's going to do this, when there's no one around, touch on your brakes and see what the road's doing for you. Because you never know when you've got ice and you'll slide right off. The other day, I think there were 10 cars from here to Michigan City, and that's where I work, by the way. I got it out now, so.
Wow. Kevin with some friendly advice for people to, touch your brakes, which I thought was a great idea. And today is definitely a day you're going to want to do it. Do that test when you have no other cars in sight. But once again, snow coming down in Chesterton this morning where it is very cold and the wind isn't helping. Although I did see one man in flip-flops and shorts, there's always that guy. I saw him at a gas station down the road. He was actually driving in from Miami, so I suppose he had an excuse. Back to you guys in the studio.
Roseanne, thank you so much. When she said that about the shorts, I a lot of times can't get my oldest kid to not wear shorts. I don't know if it's like a, hey, look how tough I am thing, but Theo, put on some pants, man.
Well, and they don't do recess outside.
No, but
okay.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's a thing. There's like Roseanne said, Caitlin, there's always that one person.
It's usually one or the other with the kids, too. It's like either they want to wear shorts all the time or they only want to wear sweats and sweatshirts all the time. I don't know. But the guy coming from Miami, it's like when you fly somewhere, you know where you're going. You check the weather of the destination, and you come prepared.
You dress accordingly.
Yeah. No, but I could see my husband going to get gas in shorts and flip-flops, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, talking about the weather, we have a few changes happening, including colder temperatures for the weekend and more snow before we even get there. So our weather headlines, number one, rounds of snow, because we're not done. We're going to have that potential for snow ramp up again as we head into this evening, tonight, into early tomorrow. Bitter cold weekend ahead. Temperatures peaking around 20 degrees. Wind chills near zero for the Bears game. It's going to be a cold one. Let's talk about right now. Speaking of, Roseanne mentioned her single-digit wind chill, and that reminded me I should show you guys what it actually feels like outside. So this is our actual temperature map. 15 at the lakefront, 13 at O'Hare, 16 in Joliet, as well as Kankakee and Chicago Heights. This is what it feels like. Wind chill, 1 at O'Hare. 3 degrees below zero is what it feels like in Aurora. 2 in Morris, 4 in Gary, 15 in Michigan City. So it is chilly. It feels even worse over the next 12 hours. Temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 20s today as our high. I mentioned that chance for snow returning this evening and especially tonight with a couple of inches possible into early tomorrow. Today, though, a high of 27. It's going to look nice. We're going to have more sunshine in the forecast today. But here's your futurecast showing that snow pivoting through Chicagoland again, especially this evening after about 7 or 8 o'clock into early tomorrow. So 6 a.m., we still have some snow around. Even in the afternoon, we could see some light, spotty snow showers. But it is going to be potentially impacting your morning drive. I would expect some slick spots on the roadways, especially on treated surfaces. You've got to be careful tomorrow morning. And then this weekend, it's not out of the question that you see a little bit of light snow around, but the bigger story is going to be the cold, as temperatures, as mentioned, reaching around 20 both Saturday and Sunday. For the Bears forecast, it's going to feel like we could be in the single digits. Very cold feeling with the chance for a few snowflakes, but a winter-like game for the Bears. It's 8:43. We have so much more ahead. Stay with us.
Your go-to.
Welcome back. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. We got Paws Chicago here, Paige Kruger, and this is one of, I don't know, this is one of the cutest in recent memory. Who do we have here? Who is this sweet little girl here?
This is Pegasus. She is a 2.5-month-old puppy who came to Paws Chicago with 2 of her litter mates. She is so outgoing and so social, so she'll do well in any home with a family that'll take her on long walks and outdoor adventures. So if you're looking to adopt Pegasus or any other pet, please stop by our Lincoln Park Adoption Center.
Look at that face. Look at that face. Do we know anything about Pegasus' backstory? You said she's
she has 2 litter mates, but we don't know much more beyond that.
Okay.
But if you'd like to meet her, you can go on our website or stop by our adoption center.
She's so soft and so sweet, and I think she's nice and calm, and
Yes.
she does look social as well. Kind of a lap puppy.
Absolutely.
Paige, before we talk about how folks can kind of help out as we kick off 2026, you guys had a good year in 2025 when it comes to finding homes for all these needy pets. Will you kind of run us through how you guys all did with your mission?
Yes, we have the numbers to show what a record-breaking year it was. So at our adoption center, we found homes for 4,918 cats and dogs. Wow. That is the highest adoption number we've had since 2019. But our medical center was busy too. So we provided over 21,000 spay and neuter surgeries. And then we also served 27,000 homeless or at-risk pets at our medical center. But of course, we want to keep all of that going.
Yeah.
21,000 spay and neuter surgeries is the most we've ever done in a year. We couldn't do it without the Paws community. So thank you to anyone that adopted, fostered, volunteered, or donated. We want to keep that going in 2026.
Absolutely. So what is behind these numbers, do you think? Because that's the highest number of adoptions and placements since 2019.
Yes.
Was it pandemic related? I thought more people would want to bring pets in during the pandemic.
It may be. I think also our medical center has become so robust. We're just able to take in more pets. We have the largest medical facility for homeless pets in the entire country. So we're able to have more pets and treat more of those very sick pets, just like this puppy right here. So we're always looking for more adoptions, but of course we're hoping to break that 5,000 mark next year.
Okay. Look at, I can't get over how cute Pegasus is. Just, I mean,
She's
right
just taking
there.
a nap.
That's the
She's settling
shot.
in for a nap. It's so funny.
Oh, gosh. All right. Before we can talk about, I guess you guys have a chance. Do you have a generous person who had a pair of Bears tickets?
We have incredible supporters.
Yes, we're going to talk about how you can enter to win a tickets to the Bears game in just a sec. But how can people best support Paws here in January as we kick off the year?
There's so many ways depending on your capacity. So if you are able to adopt, we always need adopters. But if you're not able to take in a pet permanently, we are always looking for foster parents as well. I foster kittens sometimes for as short as 3 days, or you can take them in for as long as you want. That's another great way. And then of course, we're always looking for volunteers. This is the time of the year where people are completing New Year's resolutions.
Right.
So
volunteer more.
Exactly.
Here's your chance. All right, before we let you go, Paige, this chance to win Bears tickets. Let's put that full screen graphic up there on the screen.
Yeah.
Run us through with the situation here. This is kind of cool.
We have incredible supporters. So we are raffling off 2 sets of 2 tickets in section 107, row 7. Each raffle ticket is $20. Those are available until 3 p.m. on Friday before we do the raffle. So if you'd like to purchase a raffle ticket, you can just go to pawschicago.org/bears.
What a cool little fundraiser here.
It's
so all the ticket sales go to the shelter.
They do.
And then the winning ticket, you're going to see.
You get incredible seats.
Yeah.
And we did the same last week. We raffled off 4 tickets to the game and raised over $18,000 for Paws Chicago. So it really is incredible.
Hey, go to the website, buy some raffle tickets if you want a chance to go to the game. Paige and Pegasus, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Really appreciate it. Oh, she's so cute. We are going to switch gears coming up live with the SpaceX crew that returned to Earth a month early. This happened this morning. These 4 astronauts splashed down in the ocean. We're going to break down what happened, including a medical issue for one of those astronauts that's coming up. All right, Pegasus, stay bright, everybody. Just for a couple minutes. We'll be right back.
Chicago.
Welcome back. SpaceX Crew 11 astronauts, they are back on Earth this morning after safely splashing down just off the California coast. And their return comes after a medical issue forced NASA to end the mission about a month early.
Sarah Allegri live in San Diego, California. And Sarah, this return is the first of its kind, and we're still kind of trying to sort out what happened here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the International Space Station in its 25-year history, I mean, this is the first medical evacuation. So you're right. I mean, this is historical. But now this all coming to an end earlier this morning, dark and early, I should say, here off the coast of San Diego with that successful splashdown, that 10-hour trek, really, from the International Space Station that began Wednesday afternoon, so yesterday. But now, guys, the focus is on getting the astronaut in need the right medical attention moving forward here now that they're back on Earth.
Spaceflight will always carry some degree of uncertainty. That is the nature of exploration. Fundamentally, it's why we're in space, to learn. It's why NASA prepares for the unexpected, so we are ready to respond decisively and safely. The successful return of Crew 11 is a direct result of that preparation.
Yeah, so NASA Crew 11 astronauts. We've got Mike Fink, Zena Cardman, along with Japanese astronaut Kimiya Yui and Russian cosmonaut Oleg Platonov. They're home. NASA says this wasn't an emergency evacuation. And you can see as they exit the Dragon capsule, everyone appears to be in relatively good spirits. We're told the astronaut in need is stable, but they're not sharing who it is, of course, for privacy concerns. The signs to cut that mission short, that first came last week after NASA canceled the first spacewalk of the year. Now, NASA says this was all a precaution. The best way to get that full checkup, that's going to be right here on the ground, they say.
We should have had a medical evacuation approximately every 3 years in that 25-year history, and we've not had one to date. And even in this case, we're erring on the side of caution.
Yeah, so Crew 11 undocked yesterday afternoon in that same SpaceX Dragon capsule that brought them to the ISS back in August. Thrusters fired off early this morning, slowing down that capsule before quite the splashdown early this morning. Again, 1 a.m. local time, 4 a.m. Eastern. The crew was then flown by helicopter to shore after medical checks on the recovery ship. You can see them being kind of pulled in. Now they're off to NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. That's where that full-term recovery is going to take place. But guys, with Crew 11, yeah, now that they're back here, the International Space Station is a bit understaffed. That's going to be for just a bit, a couple of weeks. NASA says Crew 12, they're set to launch, this time next month. So that's going to be February 15th. Should have a full team up at the ISS sometime soon.
All right, Sarah Allegri, thank you so much in nice San Diego. Wouldn't it be wonderful to take a trip there this time of year? Two celebrities made a top secret stop at the Art Institute of Chicago this week. This was huge. The museum posted a photo on its Instagram of Ariana Grande and Jonathan Bailey in front of the Georges Seurat painting, A Sunday on Le Grand Jatte. The actors are promoting an upcoming musical inspired by the painting called Sunday in the Park with George. It's set to open in the summer of 2027 in London.
All right, we're coming up on 9 a.m. on Thursday morning here, checking back in with Caitlin Cody for how Thursday looks and how the weekend is going to shape up here. It's cold out there.
It is cold, absolutely chilly, feeling like we could be in the single digits. As far as snow goes, though, that lake effect snow slowly starting to shift east, which is good news. But Michigan City down to Westville still seeing that lake effect band, so I wanted to give you that update of the radar. We're going to have some sunshine today. Temperatures, though, only reaching into the 20s. Talking about that snow, visibility, we're doing okay now in Porter County. But if you take a look behind me, you can see as we round the lake, our neighbors in southwestern Michigan, Berrien County, still dealing with the drops in visibility. Temperatures are in the teens right now, 15 degrees at the lakefront and O'Hare, 18 in Gary, 15 at Midway, 14 in Aurora. Temperatures feeling like we could be, as mentioned, in the single digits, down to 5 at the lakefront, 4 at O'Hare and in Gary. 1 degree below zero is what it feels like in Aurora. Highs today pushing to the mid and upper 20s. So it is going to be a chilly one. Normal high 31, not too far off from normal for this time of year. But tonight we stay elevated in the 20s and the chance for snow is back. Tomorrow, that's when temperatures are going to feel a touch better. Highs pushing into the upper 30s, but we are going to have that potential for snow to start off the day. So here's our futurecast for the snowfall. I wanted to time this out for you. 5 o'clock, nice and dry for all of us in Chicagoland. But then shortly after that, we head into the evening hours and snow returns. In fact, we could have an additional couple of inches of snowfall tonight into early tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, the chance for some scattered light snow around. But tomorrow morning, it could be slick. We'll take a look at your full 70 forecast ahead. It's 8:58. Stay with us.
Watch.
Thank you.